anywhere there is a country in need, or people in need, or a nation in need, it seems to me that the Hizmet movement is among the first to even think of wanting to help these people, and that is commendable. The Hizmet movement is also very much into education. At least just target Turkey. The present administration. My name is Monserrat Washburn. I'm an adjunct assistant professor at St. John's University in Jamaica, New York. It's in the borough of Queens. It is also from St. John's University that I got my master's in theology. And since 2005, I have been teaching courses in Christian theology, mostly Christian, of course, like Christian perspectives, Christian marriage, Jesus and Christian faith, Christian moral responsibility, Catholic social teachings, and others. But, this is from the Christian perspective. But just the same, I am able to inject intercultural and interfaith notions into all of my courses. Just the word Hizmet, I think, means service, right? And that's a loaded word. And I like that term because it really tells us our own vocation, our own purpose in life, which is not just to be self-centered and to live on our own, independent of others, but really to make your life such that you are relating to everybody else around you. And again, not just your family, but also other people outside in the community, wherever you are, at the workplace. There is always some form of service you can do. And by service, one of the things that I think that we should be at service of is to regard our fellow men, the other people around us with respect. That alone to me is service. It's servicing the other individual, okay? When you say service, it starts with that, having respect for everyone around you. If you do have respect, you recognize that everybody is just as good as you, then it brings out the best in you as well as the best in other people, and then you can go from there. You can, be friends, and that I think starts out all the good things that come from being related with one another. Just being respectful of one another, I think, is a service to humanity. And of course, the Hizmet movement does not stop there. Their service extends to as much as what they can do, not just monetarily, but also in terms of, maybe building schools, particularly building schools, help building hospitals in Africa, in countries that are depressed, okay? And I actually have great respect for the Hizmet movement in the sense that they go out. It's not just in Turkey that they serve, but as many parts of the world that they can go to. I am proud to say, and I'm very thankful that the Hizmet even has a school in the country where I was born, in the south of the Philippines. And I understand that Christians and Muslims together go to this school and they thrive and they learn to coexist. Okay, and these are young children. So I'm hoping that this kind of relationship where you don't think of any religious affiliation or religious culture or differences, that they will also influence the older members of the community. And I think that Hizmet is doing such a good job. From what I know, the Hizmet movement started out as a grassroots organization. The founder, from whom the ideals and the ideas came from, is Mr. Fethullah Gulen. His ideals of service, of education, of interfaith relations, of freedom, but especially education, I think, which brings about awareness for everyone. These were the ones that were incorporated into the Hizmet movement. Your desire for harmony, for freedom, for equality, for peace, all of these translate to service. You have to do something to prove to the world that you are indeed serious about peacemaking. And so this gets translated into service, service for one another, helping each other. It all took root as fast as it could, because then Fethullah Gulen was such a charismatic leader, and from then on it spread like wildfire, from what I heard. If you ask me, and I have read some of his books and articles, with all the awards that he had been given, he was, I think, the Times gave him one of the most influential people in the world, and some other awards where he was always being distinguished. An innovator, someone who's so much into interfaith relations, intercultural, someone who's working for peace, for freedom, for equality, someone who wants to change the world, and someone who is very passionate about helping the poor, helping those who are disadvantaged. His passion for education, for establishing schools as a way with which you get rid of ignorance, and indeed, ignorance is what kills people's initiative and poisons their minds. So education is a way with which you can be free, and I think that's his message. The Hizmet movement, I think, with all the things that it's doing, is able to bring out the ideals of Fethullah Gulen, the living in peace, in harmony, establishing relations with everybody, good, friendly relations. The very fact that the Hizmet movement, through its charitable institutions, through its members, through Helping Hands, for example, they're always the first to respond to some calamities. I know for a fact that in New York, when Sandy hit, the Hizmet movement, through its Helping Hands, were all over the place. Mr. Gulen, I think, did not just give any monetary contribution, but also its members went and dirtied their hands. They helped the people who were affected by the storm. They helped them maybe clean their houses and brought food, drinks. I know that because then I am abreast by the Turkish Cultural Center as to what they're doing, and I cannot believe that they have such a heart for these people. The ones who had been affected by the storm. I also know that they went to my own country when they had the Haiyan typhoon and helped out. So anywhere there is a country in need, or people in need, or a nation in need, it seems to me that the Hizmet movement is among the first to even think of wanting to help these people, and that is commendable. I think that Fethullah Gulen, being, I would say, a dedicated, devoted Muslim, these values are in Islam. Caring for the sick, for the poor. It's not different from Christianity, that we are mandated to be helpful, to be charitable, to show compassion. And of all the virtues that I learned from Islam, I know that it is one of the things that you have to do as a Muslim, I think, is almsgiving. And I also learned from my friends around Ramadan. Ramadan is not the one time, but the most important time in which this almsgiving is brought to the fore. You know, it's one of the things that you have to do during Ramadan, apart from fasting, of course. The ideals of compassion and kindness is in Islam, as well as in the other worldviews. I think that is very strong. You cannot claim to love God if you do not express that love actively. And I also know from history of history of the world that Islam, in fact, is the religion in which the toleration for other religions of the book was practiced. They were the ones that showed Christians and Jews that yes, you are from a religion. It may be different from us, but they respect you even if you do not belong to their faith. So the so-called Abrahamic faiths, Islam and Judaism and Christianity, they're all united in a lot of ways. They worship. Now we know that we really all worship the same God with different names. We have Allah, we have Yahweh, and we have God, and however way we name our God, but we all know now that we all worship just the one God. And being united with this one God, then we know that we are also brothers and sisters in the faith.
You shouldn't be dependent on the state to do everything. If I want something done, why don't I just do it? Unless there's some specific law that's preventing me from doing it. But often there isn't. And so this is what civil society organizations can do. And this is what Hizmet is doing. Voluntary organizations that respond to real needs in communities. That I see Hizmet doing.
The one thing that I really admire of the Hizmet movement is that it does not just target Turkey. Even when I was in Turkey, when we were learning about the Hizmet movement, that it started out with, of course, helping locally, but it immediately branched out. So no matter where the calamity is, no matter where the crisis is, they are at the forefront.